This is footage that was recently posted by Steve Barone to his YouTube and Facebook pages. I sped this up quite a bit to give you an idea of what this video is. I highly recommend watching the full video on Steve Barone's YouTube page. There's a lot of other lights in the sky too that are worth looking at, but for this video, I'm just going to focus on what we're looking at here. So this is slow motion, and this is that big bright light, and I turned down the brightness so we can see it a bit better. And this is the other light that you saw that came to join it. Now they're definitely interacting. And it seems like that first light actually reaches out and grabs the second light. And now it's starting to really grow and pulse with different colors and brightness. It's so bright that I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to turn down that brightness. And that's what we have here. Now it's separating, and this really reminds me of what is called meiosis, which is how bacteria and cells divide. So I went ahead and increased the brightness again, primarily so that we could see this elongated portion in the front of the light as it reaches or moves or flies through the sky. And those lights there on the bottom, that's just the city lights. So here again, it breaks apart just like meiosis, and then one of the daughter cells disappears, and then it splits again. I called it a daughter cell, but that's obviously maybe not what it is. It's just what it reminds me of. So notice how that light disappeared, and now they join together, and now it's incredibly bright. I've turned down the brightness all the way, and it's still just washed out brightness here. So I'm zooming out just a little bit. This is a massive, massive light. And it starts to decrease in size here. Now this next part is interesting because, as I mentioned earlier, like cells dividing or the process of meiosis, this light here, if you can see now, it's starting to produce another light there, and it pops out. And I'm going to slow down a little bit as we watch these lights move. That first light starts to diminish and eventually becomes so small it becomes like a colored bright line, and it just flies away very quickly. But I'm going to go ahead and focus on the light that remained, the daughter light. And I've really turned down the brightness here because, like I said, it's so bright. And now it's just getting so small that it disappears. But the truth is, we can actually still see it if I turn up the brightness. So you wouldn't have been able to see this in the sky with the naked eye. But because of camera settings and editing settings, I was able to turn that brightness up, and we can see this. Notice how fast it's moving. This is extremely fast, and this is only 50% of total speed. So no way the human eye would be able to see this. Now it's interesting, so I'm going to slow it down here to 10%. This light simply continues moving in this way. Again, never actually disappearing, although it may have seemed that way. So what does that mean? It means that there are things in the sky that we can't see.